Okay, I'm recording again, you gotta be quiet. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 27 of the Addydae Designs video blog. I'm Deanne, coming to you as usual from Canberra, Australia. Welcome back to anyone who is returning, and to anyone that's new. This video blog is just me sharing what I'm making, what I'm designing, anything yarn related usually that I've come across that I think you might enjoy hearing about. So welcome along, that's what you'll find here. To begin today, I have some news. Yes, news which I shall now share with you. I have a new pattern available. Hooray! I posted about it just to tease you the other day, but I finally have my baseline socks pattern available for you. So there it is there. There are two options for the pattern. You can do a long cuff or a shorty version, and there's also two heel options in the pattern too, so you can customize to fit your foot the best. I'll just, if I can get them, hang on, put them together like this so you can see. So there's the shorty version, obviously, and yeah, you can see the difference in the depth of the heel on the shorty compared to the longer cuff one. So yeah, so you can mix and match however you want to do it. Lots of sizes available in that, like I mentioned before on the previous episode if you watched it. I like a snug fitting sock, so I've made lots of size options available so you can really nail your perfect fit. And then there are also tips and tricks to, not really tricks, there are tips on how to accommodate a high instep, wider calf, where you can add on more stitches if you need to for those types of adjustments. So yeah, it isn't as complicated as it might look. And one thing I really love about this pattern, okay, yeah, it is my pattern, but if you're like me, you do not like weaving in, I'm looking like, I'm not going to say who I look like, you probably know. I don't like weaving in ends at all. Hate it actually. But this pattern, you do not need to cut your yarn on either colour until you are finished with it. So there are two ends at this end and two ends at that end because you have two colours, and that's it. So yay. If you're like me, that'll be a bonus. Yeah, the pattern is also very detailed, so it takes you really step by step through. I mean, all patterns take you step by step, but very detailed. So if you've never done a crochet sock before, I'm sure you could tackle this one. I've labelled it intermediate level as far as the skill requirement goes. Not because it's particularly hard, just because there's a lot of different things that go on, you know, once you, throughout the construction of it, I mean. So that's really the only reason I did it intermediate, because you're just tackling one little bit at a time. I'm sure a confident, not absolute beginner, but certainly the adventurous beginner could certainly give it a go, I reckon, and work through it. So yeah, my baseline socks pattern. I hope you like it. So that's announcement number one. The second announcement really only applies to locals. If you are in the Sydney area or Greater Sydney area, or are willing to drive for a fun-filled weekend in Sydney, come and join me at SKEIN Sisters on the weekend of April 14 and 15. I'm hosting a couple of workshops there. If you go to the SKEIN Sisters website, you can get all the details. I will put a link to SKEIN Sisters below, and with the workshop links as well. Or you can go to my Instagram, and if you check my link tree on Instagram, it's also got a direct link to the SKEIN Sisters workshops. I'm hosting two separate workshops. One is the Blurred Lines workshop, which takes you step by step through all the different techniques used to create the Blurred Line sweater, which was my sweater release a month or so ago. Yeah, so if you have bought the pattern but are lacking a little bit of confidence and want a bit of hand holding, That's what I'm there for. We'll take you through all the techniques required to make that so that you can go home confident in your abilities to make your very own sweater. The blurred lines one, I mean. Or you can make any one, but of course. These will take you specifically through all the steps I used to create blurred lines. The second workshop is a exploring crochet shawl shapes workshop. It's a bit hard to say. Yeah, so if you would like to learn about how to create different shapes for shawls, they are one of my absolute favourite accessories. In fact, I'm quite pleased. I'm kind of pleased in a way that the weather's cooling down. I'm a little bit sad that summer's over because I have enjoyed this summer. I feel like it's gone a bit fast. But I am looking forward to accessories weather, so that will be nice. So that's an aside. If you would like to learn about how to create different shawl shapes with crochet, come and join me at the Shawl Shapes workshop. So yeah, like I said, all the details are on the SKEIN Sisters website. I would love to see you there. It's going to be great fun. And if you've never visited SKEIN Sisters before, that in itself is worth a trip to Sydney. So you should just go just for that anyway. But yeah, I'd love to meet you. Aside from the workshops, we are having like a trunk show, I think you call it, on the Saturday. Where I'm going to bring a whole bunch of my shawl samples and you can try them on and see which shape you like and which patterns you like and stuff like that too. So that'll be a nice bit of fun as well. So yeah, love to see you there. Right, that was the news. What next? How about we start with some finished objects? I have finished objects. Hurrah! First of all, I will show you, this is the biggest one. I finished the baby blanket I was making for my friend. Now this is made pretty much following the pattern for the Lottie and Albert rainbow blanket by Lindsay from the Lottie and Albert podcast. She has a blog with all the details. I'll put a link below for that. In fact, while I'm talking about links below, everything I talk about on the podcast that isn't, well, it isn't on YouTube, is it? Apart from me. What I'm trying to say is anything I mention on the podcast, I will provide a link below the video. So you just click and there's a little arrow, you can expand the show notes there and there'll be links to everything, whether it's yarn, my projects, patterns, other blogs and stuff like that. So you'll find all the info below. It's just the easiest way, I think, to do it. I used to put the info up on the, you know, the bottom, like a subtitle on the video itself, but then you couldn't click on that. So I put it below the video now so you can get a direct link to where you want to go. So yeah, this is Lindsay's pattern from Lottie and Albert. Now hers was called the rainbow blanket because her pattern called for 6 strands of different coloured DK weight yarn, and then they're all worked together. And then hers is adorable. She actually put pom-poms in all the individual colours along the edge. I, as you can see, did not do that. I also didn't use 6 strands, I used 3 because one, I didn't have a 25mm hook and I didn't have that many colours that would coordinate. So this is made using Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton that I had in my stash, which I think makes for a really nice ombre effect. So you can see what I've done with the stranding. 3 strands of the, I think it's Blizzard colourway. I can't remember the colour names now. Sky blue, started introducing that. French navy and then the noir, I think, for the black. But yeah, that's just 100% cotton. I decided in the end not to put pom-poms on. One, because I don't even know if 100% cotton makes for a good pom-pom. I kind of was concerned they wouldn't hold together. So I decided, as you can see, I opted for a really short fringe, which I think looks really good. It is a baby blanket. I am aware that, you know, fringe isn't always the best thing for babies, but it's not long enough to be an issue. So it will be fine. As far as, you know, tangling around baby's fingers and that, it is just not long enough. So that is my completed blanket. I'm really, really happy. That's obviously half the size. There's the full width of it. So it'd be perfect for pram. You know, pram size blanket. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and it is so soft. with the 3 strands of the cotton, and I think I used an 8mm hook. Did I say 8mm? Yeah, I think it was an 8mm hook. It worked up beautifully. It's lovely and soft and squishy and airy. And the Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton is machine washable too, so a double bonus for a new mum. Yeah, it's just the only bummer of it is, and it's nothing to do with the product, it's just cotton I find really hard on my hands now. So yeah, it was a bit heavy going. I had to keep taking breaks between. I'd do a few rows and I'd do a few more. So as easy and as quickly as it was working up, I couldn't get it done quite as fast as I would have liked, because yeah, it was just making my hands ache. I didn't realise that when I lived in Queensland I used to do everything in cotton because it was too hot to wear anything in wool, and it never seemed to bother me. Does that mean I'm getting old? Moving on, we won't talk about that anymore. So that is my first FO. I have another FO which I just showed you a few minutes ago because I finished my second baseline sock. This was the second one. I only had one finished before, so it was, I don't know why I waited so long to finish the second one. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I had this done from beginning to end, I think in 3 evenings. And that's not even spending, you know, all evening doing it. It was so quick. I felt like a bit of an idiot for waiting for so long. In my defense though, the first one was my prototype sample, so I was kind of working it out as I went along. But really, once I worked it out and then I went and made these, I really should have made this one more quickly. So yeah, and this is perfect timing too because the weather is cooling down a little. These are getting a bit of use, so looking forward to wearing those a bit more over the next little while. So 2 FOs, which I just casually threw on the floor. That's terrible. What else have I got for you? On to whips. I think I have a few whips. Now, one of them you've seen before, but the others are new. So I'll show you the one you've seen before, but it looks a bit different. I showed you my other blurred lines. This was actually my first prototype of my blurred line sweater. And when I showed you last time, I think I was up to about here, but it was in a different color. And when I watched it on the video, and even when I was looking at it, when I was recording it, I was thinking, nah, that color's not right. But I was in denial a little bit. I thought, no, surely it's just showing badly up on the video. And the more I looked at it afterwards, the more I disliked it. No fault of the yarn, it was just the color wasn't working the way that I would have liked. It was pooling a little bit too, which wasn't helping. But yeah, it just had a bit too much yellow in it that wasn't apparent before I actually had a solid section of that color done. So I frogged it all the way back to, how can I hold this up? All the way back to here where the striping, is it there? Yeah, where the stripe started with the third color. And introduced this color instead. And then as you can see, I've introduced color number 4 and finished the hem. Now, if you've seen the blurred lines sweater pattern, you will know that the pattern is written for 3 colors, or, well, the sample is actually color 1, color 2, and then back to color 1. So technically 2 colors done in 3 blocks. Because this was my first prototype, I was just using stash yarn. So 4 colors, different colors, and the colors are introduced at slightly different stages than the pattern calls for, but it's very easy to alter it. So if you want to use quite a number of different colors as opposed to just the 2 alternating colors that are shown in the pattern, it's really easy to do it. So go for it. Create your own fade thing happening. But I'm really happy with these colors now. It looks much better. It's a much nicer progression. I'll see if you can see that. It's just much better. I think I'll cover up my face. Hopefully that's in focus for you. I have to apologise too for everyone that viewed last episode about the sound. When I held something up to the camera, somehow my microphone, which I have a separate microphone, which sits over there, that's why I'm pointing in that way, somehow it was not connected properly, and my Zoom makes a lot of noise that when you're using the camera microphone, it gets picked up and it can be annoying. So if that was bugging you last time, because I know it was an issue for a long time before I got the microphone, and then stupid me didn't check it properly, and it was, yeah, I know it was bugging me in the editing stage, so I apologise. It should be fixed, and yeah, I did double check it this time, so if it hasn't worked this time, I'm in big trouble. But yeah, so apologies for that. Hopefully we've corrected it this time. So back to my sweater. I have finished the bottom. It's completely joined for the ribbing around the bottom, which I just love. It's such a neat rib, and it sits very flat, because sometimes crochet rib can be quite raised, which I don't always like. It works for some things, but you know. And then now I've just got to do the sleeves. I won't have enough yarn to do full length sleeves, but I think I might be able to make them about 3/4. I think I'm going to measure, like as in weigh what bits I have left, and you know, only use as much, half the yarn for each side. Doesn't take a brain surgeon to work that out. You see what I mean? But I'm estimating from what I've got, I'm pretty sure I will end up with a 3/4 length, which will be fine. And so obviously it won't have the thumb hole or the runner's cuff like the pattern does, obviously, because it's not going to be long enough. But yeah, I think it should be really good. So I'm really hoping to finish that before I host the workshop for this design at SKEIN Sisters, because it'd be really cool to wear it. So I'm kind of hoping that it's actually cool enough to wear it as well. So yeah, so there's that whip. So I might even have that finished for you next time. Whip number 2 is also a sweater. Last episode I showed you a prototype of a new design that, now that my baseline socks pattern is available, I can concentrate on it. My brain can only cope with one design at a time, so I can't be thinking and checking numbers from one and then switching to the other. If other people can do that, that's great. I wish I could, but I can't. So now that baseline socks is available, this one is definitely on the books, and I'd really like to organise it in time for the Australian winter. I know that doesn't help many people overseas where it's warming up, but you know, I can only do what I can do. So this is for my mum. Now it's all, let me see, it's inside out, because you work this one inside out as well, just like blurred lines. So you can see I finished the top. Oh, sorry, it's a bit wrinkled. It's been in a project bag, but it is a whip, so you know, it's not been blocked. This is it's the back. This is the front. So you can see a bit of neck shaping going on there, and then you've got your full ribbed sleeve with the detail on the side, and I'm just basically up to the body. I'll cover my face and hopefully that's in focus. So yeah, this one is for my mum. She actually gave me this yarn ages ago, because knitting and crochet bother her hands too much now, so she can't do it. So she passed it on to me, so I thought, well, I'm going to make her a jumper out of it. It's from Bendigo Woolen Mills. This is an old colour and actually an old yarn. I don't think they make this anymore, but for anyone who's got that in their stash, it's working up rather nicely. Yeah, it's just a DK weight or 8-ply. Allegro in the wild mushroom colourway. I am a little concerned I'm going to run out, because I only have one more. They're 200 gram balls from Bendigo Woolen Mills, as you may already know. I only have this much left. Now I have finished the sleeves, so the sleeves are done. So you know, it's not an issue, because if I run out, I can just create a colour block effect and I'll do a different colour on the bottom. So I've already told Mum that that's a possibility, but I'm hoping, I'd love it if it was all the one colour, but hey, I've got a lovely charcoal grey that I can pop on the bottom of this, which I think would look pretty funky. And yeah, but it's really warm and squishy. I'm really enjoying it and happy with how the design is turning out, because I'm also editing my notes as I go. So there you go, I'm already sort of started as far as the pattern writing goes on this one for you. So I hope to have that ready soon. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it's going so far. So they are, oh, that just fell off the couch. Everything's ending up on the floor whether I want it to or not today. One more whip to show you. I'm going to keep an eye on my timer because my camera does this funny shutdown thing at 30 minutes. Now this one is an older design. It's a design I released about 12 months ago, 3 springs. It was my mystery crochet along that I did, and I've decided to make up another sample because the sample that is photographed in the pattern is actually over in Western Australia in a yarn store on display with Dingo Dye Wax yarn, which is also available on that yarn store. So I don't have an actual sample of that shawl at the moment, so I figured I should have at least one sample, so I decided to work one up. Now this is also using Dingo Dye Wax yarn for the main colour. This is the Durham Bandy colourway, which is a gorgeous mix of, I mean, if you said you were going to put all these colours together, I would have gone, ew, but it looks awesome. Well, I think it does anyway. That's the ball. So it's just, I'm just about to start the first lace section, but it looks really pretty. It's sort of mottled really nicely. I was worried at first that the colours were starting to stack a little. You can see the dark blue just in one section, but the moment we started increasing more on the sides, and I think it's enough variation, and because it's all speckles, none of the colours are super solid anyway. Even when when you are in the blue section, it is not a solid blue. So it is a speckled yarn. And the contrast colour I'm going to use is not from Dingo Dye Wax, but it's another one I found in my stash. This is from, I don't think they're dyeing anymore, so you're probably not really interested. Yeah, it's from Little Plum Yarn. Yeah, so this is deep stash, reasonably deep stash anyway, but the blue is just the perfect match for the pops of blue in that. So that's what I'm using. It's just a sock yarn base, very similar composition to this. So I'm going to use that for that, and I'm waffling now, but the something else ended up on the floor. The pattern as it's written has 2 contrast colours. I think I'm just going to stick with the one and just have the blue. I'm picturing this as something you can wear with like a light coloured top and denim jeans. I don't know, it's kind of got the denim jean colour happening there, so that's how I'm picturing it anyway, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, 3 springs. I should have that done fairly quickly. That only took me a day and a half, I think, of playing. Yeah, so mind you, that's the, it does get very long very, very quickly, that one, so the last half will take me a bit longer, I'm sure. So yeah, they are all of my whips. I'm just going to change my camera for 1 sec. Okay, it was about to automatically shut off at the 30-minute mark, so I grabbed it just in time. So, what else is new? I haven't bought any yarn. Shocker! I know. I have bought some things. They just haven't arrived yet. They're coming in the mail, so none of these are purchases I've made. But I do have some yarn to show you that was a gift. my friend Christine, who is Mini Me Handicrafts on Instagram, or she's My Miss Minnie on Ravelry, but you may have seen her around. She makes beautiful things and usually sells them at different, not collaborations, what's the word I'm thinking of? Anyway, she sells a lot of stuff on Facebook, and she went on an amazing trip to Europe at the end of last year, and she brought me home some yarn. This, I think, came from Austria. Sorry, Christine, I could be wrong. Austria, Germany, I don't remember where she said exactly the yarn store was, but that's the label on it. The colorway is Licht Blick, and I know that's wrong, but I jumped on Google Translate to see what it meant, and it means Ray of Hope. So how cute is that for a colorway name? But check it out, it's just, it's got a bit of everything and I love it. It looks a bit messy because I unwound the skein. Hang on. I'll just uncover a bit more. Look, there's more colours hiding in there. Isn't that cool? I have no idea what I'm going to make with it yet, but it's definitely going to be something that's going to show off all these colour changes. So I'm looking forward to using that. And it's a single ply too, and you know how much I love singles. So thank you, Christine, it's lovely. A very belated thank you, because I meant to show this last episode and totally forgot. So yes, apologies there. It's not because I didn't appreciate it, but I just forgot. Can I say I claim blonde moment on that one? Another gift that I was given was a pattern this time, and this is from Hannah from the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast. If you haven't checked out her podcast, check it out. Hannah's so bubbly and positive, and she makes a lot of stuff, lots of varied stuff. Like, she's not just making shawls or garments, she does a lot of commissions for toys and things like that. So she's doing amigurumi and things like that. Have I said that too many times? Anyway, she gifted me a copy of her very first pattern, the Treasure Island shawl. I'm not sure how, hang on, let's see if we can get a bigger picture. How's that? So that is Hannah's very first design, and she gifted me a copy of the pattern. Thank you so much, Hannah. I was going to buy it too, and she beat me. I went to get it and was like, what's this in my inbox? So that was very, very sweet. So I have yarn for that I've left in the other room. Wait 1 second, don't go anywhere. I'm back. Okay, ages ago I showed you these, and I still haven't used them because I just haven't had the inspiration or the right project. I got these from Lincraft. This is an illusion cake from Lincraft. These are 75% cotton, 25% polyester, and about 600 meters per ball. But the color transition looks really, really gradual, which you know I love. So I'm thinking that would be great. I know Hannah's design is from one corner to the center and then back up to the other corner. So I'm thinking it would be perfect. So, you know, one tip's going to be white, and then the other tip's going to end on the lighter pink. So yeah, that's what I plan to use for it, and it will be perfect for this time of year because it's not freezing cold yet, but it's getting cooler. So I'm hoping to have a chance to actually work this up, but I've got a few things I have to get organised first. Priorities. It's terrible when the the adulting things in life get in the way of the fun stuff. So yeah, so thank you, Hannah. I have that all ready to go, and hopefully we'll have it started by next episode. So that's all of my new things. One thing I wanted to mention, because it's something I've only just discovered since the last episode, is another podcast that you might enjoy. So sharing the love a little bit. I'm probably way behind the 8 ball, but I have only just discovered the Lulu Loves podcast, which is Emma Escott. She's based in the UK and she's up to about, I don't know, 11 or 12 episodes, I think. So she's been doing this for a little while. She's just so sweet and lovely and makes the most beautiful things. She made one of the goldenrod sweaters that quite a few people are making at the moment. It's a crochet circular yoke sweater with this lovely, I don't know, it reminds me of like wheat, a sheaf. Is it a sheaf? You know, where the actual grains are? Anyway, coming down, it's lovely. And she made a beautiful one in this gorgeous sort of blush, well, I don't know if it was blush, sort of like a dusty, pale, neutrally pink. Probably making that sound terrible. Hers was beautiful. So go and check out Emma's podcast. I'll put a link for that below. Yeah, you'll really enjoy it. I'm sure you will. And what else was I going to mention? Lulu Loves. I'm sure there was something else, and you know what? There's nothing else left on my list, so I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry. I'll put it on the list for next time. It's so typical of me. Yeah. You're probably used to it by now, so for anyone that's hung around for 27 episodes, I really appreciate it. So that's about all I have to show you. One thing I will mention before I go though, in line, well sort of in line with, I kind of loosely mentioned it last time and I obviously haven't organised it yet. Talking about my blurred line sweater, I am definitely organising a crochet along for that, so never fear. However, what I thought I would do is wait till after I'd completed the workshops at SKEIN Sisters, so that everyone that attended the workshop can then join in the crochet along after that date. So the workshops are set for April 14 and 15, so I will get everything organised by that date or to start the crochet along just after that date. So if you are thinking of making a blurred line sweater and want to do it along with everybody else, whether or not you're coming to the SKEIN Sisters workshop, I will set that up in my Ravelry group and get that going. I might even start a thread a little bit earlier because people are going to have to source yarn, etc. So yeah, I might get that started shortly, so keep an eye out for it. I am doing it. I did say last episode that I would, and I'm staying true to my word. Yeah, I'd love to work one up together with you and see what colour combinations and stuff you come up with. It'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely stay posted on my Ravelry group. Now, where to find me? I am on Instagram as Addydae_designs, and from my Instagram account you can find me everywhere else. If you click on the link tree, it's got a link straight to my Ravelry group where you can get my patterns and stuff like that. If you don't have Instagram, that's fine. I am also on Facebook as Addydae Designs, although I'm not quite as active on Facebook as I am on Instagram. Or you can just head straight to Ravelry and find the Addydae Designs group on Ravelry, or I'm listed there as Mrs. Ramjet. So yeah, that's where you can find me. Love to hear from you. If you have any questions for me or suggestions, be nice. Pop a comment below. I love hearing what you have to say and hearing from you. So yeah, do that. Click the like button if you like it. Tell your friends, you know. The more the merrier. Anyway, okay, I can tell it's time to go. I hope you've all been well. I hope you've been enjoying your crafting. This is it from me for this time. I'll see you next time. Bye.